Hi everybody, it's your buddy Brad here, and today we are going to take a look at both the double modulus and the DC demodulus techniques and um, variation. Um, right now I'm just playing with our the just DC demodulus. In case you're wondering, the D stands for double, so basically it's DC double modulus, um, which is actually uh, I got it was inspired by a tutorial by Dark Beam, not Dark Beam, Boxtail. I apologize, Boxtail. Um, uh, and he in his tutorial he also gives credit to Pilemaster um, for the original technique. I will include a link to this down below, and also um, Rick Sidwell also did a written uh, tutorial on doing the double modulus as well, and I will also link to it down below. Um, so this is just my take on the double modulus uh, style. And there is a lot you can do with this style and this variation. So there was one day I was playing around after um, uh, I had helped Jesus and Rick Sidwell come up with the DC demodulus variation, and I had, let's see, I was playing with primitives on a square with it open, and I had a log tile final set to 2 on the X and the Y. And, um, I was just goofing around with it. And a while ago, Tatiana Zapanova, hopefully I am pronouncing her name right, had said that the uh, double modulus technique is based on Pythagorean tiling. And I asked her about it, and she gave me this Wikipedia link, which I can also put down below. And I tried it, and I got frustrated, and I gave up. And I even had some sample params from her, and I just couldn't get it. And so uh, until Boxtail came out with his tutorial, and then I got it, but there is a lot of math involved. So basically I was just playing with square, and I just had log tile here, and I noticed that if I rotate the square, if you line it up so the sides are all touching, and then you're left with this open square. And I knew right away, like, everything clicked, because if we take a look at our DC modulus turn off square, it has a big square and a little square, and it has a lot of math involved behind the scenes. I will get into that a little bit here, since it's covered more in the other tutorials, but basically what it is, so if we have this square and we get both sides touching, we can actually duplicate that square. We can move it up 1 and up 1. Let me get different colors here. I'm going to use red, white, and blue. So I'm going to set one of them to red, and I'm going to set the other one to blue, just so we can tell them apart. So the first one we had is red, second one we have is blue. So then if you shrink down, now I'm just doing this manually, what I'm doing is I am shrinking down this other blue. Maybe if I change it to white, you can see it better, at least with this. So I am shrinking down the white square so it fills in the area from where we rotated the other square. So if I hide that, and I'm just going to rotate here. No, that doesn't work. I'm just going to rotate it by 10. So you see, again, we have this open square here. And so I just copy that, and we have the white one. And I'm going to do a screenshot here. And it might be a little off, but at least for some idea of how it works, it helps. Excuse me. So then what we can do here is I'm going to duplicate this one. I'm going to change it to modulus. I'm going to set the X and the Y both to 1. I'm going to add pre-blur to it. Now, this square isn't the same size as the modulus square. So what we have to do is shrink it down manually. I'm actually going to set the weights on these to 0. Might have to do a little bit of fine tuning to make sure they match up. You want to get as close as possible without them overlapping. Then again, we can just duplicate that, change it to a different color. I'm going to move that up, over one, and up one. Then I'm going to shrink it down by hand until it fits inside the other square we created. That looks pretty decent. Looks like we might have a little bit of a gap, but for this little testing, you can get an idea of it. So then what we do is, if we get rid of the pre-blur on both of the moduluses, and then on the second modulus, you will need to adjust the weight. And what you're doing is you want to get it so it looks solid, about like that. Again, there's actually you can get exact mathematical adjustments also, which I will get into. And then you can just change the color speeds of them. And another thing I noticed, I have been doing all of this movement with post enabled. You need to make sure post is enabled. So now I'm going to turn off post. Then if you move one of the triangles around, here I'm going to do a screenshot and just do pick a different gradient, and you can really get to see the tile. I'm actually going to turn off the log tile here, or make it that it's not really being seen. So you can now see that matches up pretty gosh dang well for doing it by hand. So now let's say I wanted a exact angle in mind. So I am actually going to go ahead and reset both of these. Let's say I wanted something at a 30-degree angle. So I'm going to select the first one. I'm going to set my angle. I'm going to rotate 30. I'm going to rotate 30 again. And now you see it's all kind of icky and messy and all of that. And if we look at the tutorial by Boxtail, he goes over how to calculate the exact settings. So if we want I'm trying to find out where it's at here. This here is for to figure out the weight. and I am not seeing it. Maybe that's one of the problems I had with this tutorial, but anyway, you need to set the, you get the sine and the cosine of the angles. So I'll pull up a calculator here, and I actually made a an Excel sheet that did this as well before the variation. So if we want a 30-degree angle for the first modulus, I'm going to type in 30, and I believe it is cosine. We should get this number here. Yes. So we typed in 30 to get this number. Then we can actually copy that number. Put it there. Actually, that looks like we already have the number. Let me try again here. I'm just going to reset this one. I'm going to paste that number there, in the X1 and Y2. Then rotate it by 30. That's what we have to do. That's right. And then to get the second number for 30, we type in 30, we hit sine, and it gives us 0.5. So I'm going to reset this one. Just type in 0.5 and 0.5. And then we're going to adjust the angle and move it over 1 and up 1. Now that is the exact calculations, and then to get the weight, we type in 30 and we hit tan for tangent, and it's 0.577, yada yada yada, which should also go along with my sheet here. It doesn't. But it's because you have to, that's right, you multiply that, then divide by 5. And this is just for these what am I doing here? I got confused. .30 tangent. And then times 0.5. 1.666. That's how we get it. So it's 30 tangent x squared times 0.5. And then we can copy that number and we want to keep the weight of the first one the same. This one is the one that changes. And then that is how you get a perfect tile setup. And so while coming up with the once I was playing with that Boxtail tutorial, I loved it so much, but I thought, what if we had a variation that could do all that math behind the scenes? And so I talked to Jesus Sosa, and he was able to come up with most of the variation, which I'm going to get rid of that log tile, because so basically if you add another final, set another modulus, set it to 1, now this is a very good tile. Tiles are fun. You can do a lot with them, and I just find them very, very fun to do. So anyway, like I was saying, Jesus came up with the variation, and then Rick and I helped out with a few more parts of it, and that's how the DCD modulus variation was born. So that all you have to do is open it up. It's already a perfect square for you. You can change the gradients. And remember how I said for every angle, there's basically 3 different formulas. If you just change the angle variable, it actually does all 3 of those calculations for you behind the scene. So you do not need to worry about it. Just doing some quick play here, but when playing with this, I suggest only doing rotations in 90-degree increments. So you can rotate it 90 degrees and get different patterns and shapes. Because if you rotate it any other way, you get the to me it breaks the variation. It has the openings and it overlaps, and it for all the work that was put into it, it's not the purpose it was designed necessarily designed for. So I hope you found this tutorial, or my take on the tutorial, interesting. If you have any questions, please let me know. And until later, I'll talk to you later. Bye.